Welcome back to the Decepticons, and they are a largely hit-or-miss group. So, we're going to start with Scorch here. So Titan's Return was the first redo of Scorch in his original G1 mode, because the 2008 Universe 1 had him transform into a bomber. And as you can see, he was okay. Not great, but okay. He did come with another gun, which has since gone missing, but that's his gun. And compared to his studio series, this is a serious downgrade. Up articulation, his head is on a ball joint. Look down that far, up that far. His little head gun is on thing. His wings are on a hinge there and a hinge there. Arms can do a full 360. They can go in and out and rip them off the ball joint. In and out. Bend and swivel near the elbow, and of course a little bit of wrist articulation. Nothing at the waist, but if you untap it, you get a very interesting waist joint. Check in. Legs can go forwards yay far, back a bit yay far, under 90 degrees, and you do get a little bit of foot articulation. That's really all I can say about it, because this is not as bad as him. So transform him, untap his head, and you get this little Scourge. Hello there, I'm evil. Fold in his fists, bring up his shoulders, because this tab here is going to go into that slot up there. Tab it into place. Do not tab in these wings, because you're going to untap his waist, and then you're going to unfold his knees, fold in this toe, and bring down the heel spur. Second verse is much like the first. You're going to rotate these around, like so, and they're going to go into these, and then tab them together. Once you get them all nice and squeezing, tab that down. And then there's a tab here that's going to go into that slot up there, and that tab is going to go into that slot there to get everything nice and squishing. Yep. I'm not blocking the pathway. Like so. Then you fold up the cockpit, set it down, and plug them into place. And it's Scorch, and it's an okay alt mode. Yeah, like, seriously, this would have been good until they released Studio Series, and this is just, as I said, downgrade. There's really not much point in keeping it, so I may end up getting rid of it at some point in the near future. Just moving some figures off from down here. Now, we move on to the interesting thing, because the next three are actually more popular in Japan than they are here. Mindwipe, Skullcruncher, and Deathhawk. I think his name is Deathhawk. I'm going to start with him. And as you can see, he's got an Optimus Prime sort of Titan's head. It is quite lovely. Now, if we remember, this guy in the show was actually a bit unholstered, and was evil and insane. Really didn't like that, and he did become a Power Master, I remember that. And they did actually reuse this mold for the Autobot one, Metalhawk. And unfortunately on this one is broken. That bit there has snapped off on this one. One fun thing I like doing is actually folding in his fist and bringing out his gun so we can go, I will have my answers. As for articulation, his head is on on that ball joint. His arms can do a full 360. They can go up and down. You get a swivel at the elbow and a bend at the elbow, and a little bit of wrist articulation due to transformation. You do get some waist articulation on this one. Legs can go forwards, can go back that far, can move the arms out of the way, can go out all that far. Very lovely in just over 90 degrees of bend. Swivel at the hip, and you do get some foot tiltage. So yeah, That's him. So transform him. Untap his headmaster and transform him up. Fold in the fist and bring in his arm. Straighten the arm and fold out the wings. Like so. Fold in his feet. And then fold them down. Now, his feet actually do have a bit of an awkward thing for me. Fun. Remove. Untab his arms from the waist and bring them up. And then untab his waist and bring up the nose cone. To where they're about here. Rotate the torso 180. And then rotate at this waist. Fold in his legs. And bring them up. Because these now tab into place like that. Fold the cockpit. Put in the headmaster. Fold up the nose cone. Bring this down. And then bring the arms all the way back. And then this tab here can go in there. Ignore the noise, that's just Amber Rose going to check on her boyfriend. And such. And there you go. A really nice looking fighter jet mode. Now, fun fact, in Japan, Decepticons are called Destrons. And I absolutely love that. So there you go. Deathhawk in his jet mode. Now, it would have been a bit more awesome if this had that there. Skullcruncher, he's the big brute of the Destron Headmasters, who, in, like, that was one of the pacifists who fled in under Lord Scorponok. Returned to Cybertron in their new headmaster forms to fight on the side of the Decepticons. And he was a brute. Whilst in Japan, he was one of the many Autobots who left, or one of the many Cybertronians who left, found themselves on Planet's Master, tried to take it all, and came under the rule of Zarak, who is Scorponok. Fun fact, you can actually get Scorponok and Black Zarak through the Transformers Earthrise and Generation Select, so you can actually find them complete. They had the Headmasters through Titan's Return and Titan's Return, Power of the Primes, and War for Cybertron and Siege. Like the trilogy, the War for Cybertron trilogy. And we've got a pretty good, very lovely greens, whites, and pinks. And they did redo this colour as another Decepticon. Can't remember his name. But his head can do a full 360. Fun fact, this character is actually going to appear in a Transformers series I'm working on as a character named Riptor. More on that later when I do a full cast list. Arms can do a full 360. They are on this very tight ball joint. Arms go up and down. Swivel up at the bicep. Bend at the elbow. And a little bit of wrist articulation due to the transformation. Waist articulation. Legs can go forward that far. Back that far. Bend at double jointed knees due to transformation as well. And you get a swivel at the thigh. Oh, no, out that far. And you get a little bit of toe tiltage. Now, there is one downside to this figure. This version does love to pop off its leg ball joints. In fact, the legs are very, very loose on this character. But that's just Blazon's character. So to transform him, you need to remove his tail. And then fold in his wrists and bring down the gator claws. Remove the head. And fold up these at this angle. Rotate them forward on the bicep joint and bring them in. Fold down the gator head. See what I mean? We'll just leave it popped off for now. And that will tab into place. And then you've got a really nice gator head. Come down on this part. That mark is just due to this being very soft plastic. Take the headmaster, fold them out, and he will sit in there, like so. Bye, losers! He's a Zoid pilot now. Fold this leg in and bring it up, fold the tail down. Come to this leg. And I'll show you on this one. You're going to basically fold it like that. Let's bring in that joint down. So we're going to bring this out just a little bit to retab into the ball socket here. I think it's actually just because the joint is starting to go on this particular figure. So I may have to eventually track down a replacement. So does anybody see Way of the House Husband on Facebook? Not Facebook, on Netflix? Damn, that's a good anime. You're going to bring this together and tab it all together. And this post which is formed is where you're going to put the tail on. And then you've got Skull Cruncher in his alligator mode. Now it is is it an alligator or is it a crocodile? Actually, the teeth will tell you. I don't really know. I think he's a crocodile. But the new articulation is head is on a ball joint and can do a full 360. You can actually mimic a death roll in this. And he really, you can move the legs. Like, these legs are on ball joints, which is awesome. So he does have some posability. But again, due to him being a crocodile, really not known for the movability. Well, actually, no, they are. Which is quite sad. Mind Wipe! Well, if I remember correctly, in the English dub of the Headmasters, he did speak with a German accent. And that made it very interesting. Dracula, they did reuse this mold for the Dracula. Mind Wipe here did get, Blazemon does have 2 different versions of this, including the remake, which is him in dark purple. Got this character because, again, in the series, it's going to be appearing as Monster the Bat. Well, again, more on that later when I do a cast list. So, as you can see here, he's got a very interesting head sculpt. And it can do a full 360. Arms can go up and down. Swivel at the bicep. Double jointed elbow due to transformation. And a little bit of wrist articulation. Waist articulation can swivel. Go forward that far. Back that far. Bend that far and can go out. And you do get a little bit of rotation up there. So that is Mind Wipe's robot mode. As for the transformation mode, now his head joint is very tough. Little Mind Wipe. Want to fold up the arms and rotate them in. And fold in the hands. You are going to then bring the arms up and down. And then rotate them around. This is because, well, you're going to fold the small wings forward. You want to fold them, rotate them on the bicep joint this way to face front. There you go. You're going to come to the feet and you're going to basically unfold, bring these parts, fold them back, bring them down, and then unfold them. And then bend them at their knee joint, and then squat the arms, and then this tab is going to tab into the back of the hand here. To 1 for 1 wing. Second burst is much like the first. And I've got to be honest, watching the Headmasters, by the way, this dude actually does have a really cool ability, which I'll get into later. Fold down the crystal clear, and in sits... Oh no, I've just broken them. Broken. Whoops. On-screen breakage. This is why I preset them down, because you don't want to do that. Fold. And he's a bat. This is dope. The only really new articulation is he does have a little bit of mouth action. Like, yes, now I can. And of course you can fold the wings in, so you can flap, and of course he can sleep upside down now. I've got to be honest, I do quite like the bat mode. It is chonk, and you do get the wings. And of course, if you do have his weapon, that plugs into his ass. So there we go. Mind the Wipe. Who can hypnotize these people? We're going to save Galvatron. Titans Return Galvatron. Yeah, you should look like that because you know what's coming. One of the new redos they did was Astro Train. I've got to be honest, the Siege one did it better, and I don't have the Siege or the Earthrise one. So I'm going to be looking out for one of those later. And this was alright, because, well, as you can see, he's a light grey. He's actually more based off his toy than he is his G1 toy. Takara redid do this figure in the more screen accurate. And I believe they even did the one that was the Autobot one. So bring it forwards, just so my camera doesn't fall off. And as you can see, it's a very lovely figure. It comes with this G1 gun and this Headmaster gun. So we're going to take off the guns, just so we can... Oh, good lord. Right. So articulation-wise, his head is on the ball joint. Shoulders can do a full 360. And go in and out. Swivel at the joint, double bend. Wrist articulation due to transformation. Nothing at the waist. Please go forward that far. This is on a single hinge joint up there. Go back that far. If you move the arms out of the way. Forwards, and you can swivel and bend. And you get a little bit of foot articulation. So, as we all know, Astro Train is our famous triple changer. So we're going to get him into diesel mode first. So you want to fold up, push up these two panels here, and fold his feet up. Now it's going to reveal his train feet. Fold up his arms, and fold in the wrists. And like Broadside, he does have these awkward joints. Take this and rotate it 180. Fold down the wings, because you are going to need them fold down. And then split the waist. Rotate the legs up, and basically clip everything together. Fold out the panels before you fold the wings up, down. And then this tab here is going to go into that hole there. And this tab here is going to go into that hole there. Fold up this part, and you're going to basically shove the Headmaster in it. That's where he's living. Fold up the wings. Take the gun. It's going to plug into there. It's going to be loose as all dickery. Or you can fold them and put them up. There. And up there. And there you go. You've got Astro Train in his long train mode. It's really a mess, unfortunately. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the molded in diesel. Like, these are, by the way, fun fact, are a DRX diesel front. And the way you can tell that is just the way that the front is, because the DRXs have a bit of a more box nose and the style. This is definitely an American locomotive. But they never did it as a two-header, unfortunately. Thank you, Mrs. Alien. So, shuttle mode. You basically want to untab the guns from the top there and untab the wings. You're going to pull down the waist, whilst leaving everything relatively together. You're going to get them all squeezed together. Fold out this part. Oh, before you do that, fold the feet around because you want to. Fold this in. Rotate this up. Bring the arms in. Like so. And the reason you're going to bring them in is you're going to bring this down and fold it down and in. Then this tab up in the wing here is going to tab into a hole. That hole on the arms. Come to the chest, fold out the landing gear, and there you go. Set the guns, tab one into there, tab one into there. And Astro Train shuttle mode, and this is vastly more better than the diesel mode. And unfortunately, both the robot mode and the diesel mode do suffer because they have to go for, oh, and angle out that. Yeah, just for the shuttle mode. And I do quite like it. But Astro Train and all the other Transformers I've reviewed so far have no right to complain because they're all immediately infinitely better than Titan's Return, Elevatron. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, don't you say, Elevatron? I don't know what the hell Hasbro was thinking when they released this sorry, sad thing. Now, before we go on, This review is going to basically be me ripping apart this figure. I'm not going to try to even transform him into the canon mode. And if you have the ability to get Legacy or Kingdom Galvatron, get him. Because this sad sack of shit ain't worth it. Because as you can see, stand up straight. This isn't even his head. This is just a fold mechanic from his chest. As you can see, it folds out. Speaking about his headmaster, who do you think his headmaster is? Would you have guessed Megatron? Yeah. It's Megatron, his headmaster. And as you can see, look, there it is. He can't even hold his cannon correctly. Because that's his arm cannon, and it is just a sad, sad mess. This dude's also a triple changer. And he's not good in any of his alt mode, in any mode. His robot mode has to deal with unnecessary kibble, and unnecessary shit, like, that isn't needed. For example, these treads, which on the Kingdom figure can move and articulate a lot better, can store a lot better. These shoulder pads, well, he can still do a full 360, and he has a double jointed elbow, and he has a no waist joint. No, he does. But it's encumbered by this crap on the back. Legs can go forward this far, they can go back that far, they can come out, it gets a very good bend of the knee, and even the foot has some articulation. But it just sucks so much. Like, you're better off getting any other Galvatron than this one. Even the 2014 Galvatron from the Movieverse is much better than whatever this is. It compromises too much for all of the alt modes. It did not need to be a triple changer. Yeah. The cannon, it doesn't. You can't even recreate the infamous cannon scene. And really, when you get the Kingdom one, it's much better and much more hit. This is hollow. Oh God, is it hollow? So that is, unfortunately, the disappointing note we're going to have to end on. And unfortunately, this figure is the letdown of the King of the Titans Return line, and nay, the Prime Wars trilogy. And up next, we'll be doing the final iteration, in which the Primes actually get to be mentioned. We've already dealt with the Enigma combination, and we've dealt with Titan Masters. Next is Prime Masters. Konban, Sayonara. Duncan, I'm signing out now. This is Duncan saying, Gee, Windows Imperium. And I'll see you next time. Bye!
I'm sorry, Duncan.
You've